The USS Gerald R. Ford, the U.S. Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier, as well as one of the world's largest and most advanced, has become a staple of the world's most powerful military. Since its commissioning in 2017, the USS Gerald R. Ford has been a crucial strategic asset for the U.S. Armed Forces. But what are its characteristics? What is its history? And what types of missions is it used for? That's what we're going to tell you today. The USS Gerald R. Ford, aka CVN-78, is the first unit of the Gerald R. Ford class, which is rapidly replacing the Nimitz-class units. One of the U.S. Navy's 11 giant aircraft carriers, it's named in honor of the 38th President of the United States, Gerald R. Ford. Ford fought in World War II aboard the aircraft carrier USS Monterey, ending his career with the rank of lieutenant commander. He was President of the United States from August 9, 1974 to January 20, 1977, and his presidential term was marked by the Cold War and the consequences of the first oil crisis. But now, back to our American aircraft carrier. Developed by General Atomics for the U.S. Navy, the ship was unveiled on January 16, 2007, and construction began in 2013. The Gerald R. Ford was originally scheduled for delivery in 2015 to replace the USS Enterprise, the first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier in history. She was decommissioned in December 2012 after 51 years of service. However, the Gerald R. Ford was finally delivered and inaugurated by Donald Trump in 2017. The Gerald R. Ford is not only the most modern of America's 11 aircraft carriers, but also the world's largest warship. She is 332 meters long and 78 meters wide. That's bigger than 3 football fields. By comparison, the Charles de Gaulle measures just 262 meters. She's also the most expensive warship, costing almost $13 billion. That's almost twice as much as the latest Nimitz-class aircraft carrier. To this can be added the $4.7 billion spent on research and development for the Ford class, which will eventually comprise 3 ships. The carrier's first mission is scheduled for 2022. At that time, it embarked Carrier Air Wing 8, a U.S. Navy-embarked air wing in the U.S. Navy's 2nd Fleet Area of Responsibility in the Northeast Atlantic. The USS Gerald R. Ford accompanies a naval battle group comprising surface ships, supply ships, 1 or 2 nuclear submarines, and an air escort. She is also escorted by the missile cruiser USS Normandy and the destroyers USS Thomas Hudner, USS Ramage, USS Carney, and USS Roosevelt. On board are 4,600 sailors, 90 aircraft, helicopters, and drones. She even has her own nuclear power plant, capable of producing 600 megawatts of electricity. At the cutting edge of technology, she has, for example, highly sophisticated radars and the ability to launch aircraft using electromagnetic catapults, enabling up to 220 takeoffs a day. All in all, it boasts 23 new technologies. New features include giant elevators to lift missiles and bombs onto the deck for loading onto aircraft. With a displacement of 112,000 tons, its speed can reach up to 30 knots, or 55.6 kilometers per hour. Armament includes the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile launcher, 2 AIM-7 Evolved Sea Sparrow launchers, 2 Phalanx CIWS close-in weapon systems, and surface ship torpedo defense. It's also equipped with advanced defense and attack systems, including missiles, cannons, and electronic jamming systems. It can carry a wide variety of aircraft, including fighters, reconnaissance, and surveillance aircraft, as well as helicopters and drones. But with so many people on board, you need to get organized. In terms of logistics, the ship's galleys produce some 15,000 meals a day. The crew also includes an ophthalmologist, a dentist, and a surgeon. Everything is done to ensure that the crew has access to the best possible care. As Captain Paul Lonzentola, commanding officer of the USS Gerald Ford, explained to TF1, "I think what surprised me most was the difference in quality of life. Our officers now live in real rooms. Compared to other ships, there's a lot more electronic and electrical equipment." For propulsion, this aircraft carrier has two A-1B nuclear reactors with 4 propeller shafts. They operate on the principle of nuclear fission. This means they use uranium as fuel. When uranium nuclei are hit by neutrons, they split, releasing a large amount of energy in the form of heat and producing more neutrons, which can then hit other uranium nuclei, creating a chain reaction. The heat produced by fission is used to heat water and produce steam. The steam produced is then used to turn a turbine. Each turbine moves a sturdy steel shaft, which in turn moves a propeller. Each reactor has a thermal output of around 700 megawatts. This provides the power for the ship's other systems, such as the electromagnetic catapults that can catapult aircraft at speeds of up to 260 kilometers per hour. These engines are more advanced and efficient than those used on other aircraft carriers. In fact, they're more adaptable, smaller, and lighter than the A4W design used previously. What's more, they have a very long service life. Indeed, they're designed to produce power for the entire life of the aircraft carrier. In fact, they can operate for years on the same fuel core. What's more, they are designed to produce 2.5 times more electricity than Nimitz Class A3W reactors. What's more, this great energy autonomy means operational availability of around 70%, with missions lasting up to several months. This is a major advantage of nuclear propulsion for aircraft carriers, enabling them to remain at sea for long periods of time without the need for refueling. In addition to propulsion, nuclear reactors also provide energy for the electromagnetic aircraft launch system. This system, which replaces traditional steam catapults, is used to launch aircraft. It uses an induction motor that creates less friction with the aircraft's metal, thus extending its service life. It also increases the number of daily takeoffs by 25%, as mentioned above. By May 2024, only the USA and France had nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. In fact, France is planning to build a new nuclear-powered aircraft carrier that'll be able to accommodate 30 fighter jets, including Rafales and future air combat system aircraft. What's more, the ship's configuration and power generation are designed to enable it to adapt to new types of weaponry, such as electromagnetic, laser, and microwave radiation. The John Kennedy, based on the same model, is currently under construction. For the moment, 3 other Ford-class ships have been announced, with a budget in the tens of billions of dollars. On an aircraft carrier, the runway is too short for the planes to take off on their own, so they have to be propelled by a catapult. EMAL systems offer many advantages over the steam catapults commonly used. However, in the early 2021s, criticism was leveled at this system. Indeed, according to a Pentagon report revealed by Bloomberg, this technology seems to be producing more than disappointing results. Most of the criticisms focus on the electromagnetic aircraft launch system, which is used to launch aircraft. This system, which costs $3.5 billion, is supposed to require much less maintenance and checking. But in sea trials scrutinized by Robert Beller, Director of Test and Evaluation, in early 2021, the electromagnetic catapults managed to carry out 181 launches without failure. The system is supposed to be able to perform 4,166 of these before encountering any problems. To make matters worse, the advanced arresting gear, which is responsible for stopping aircraft when they land, also recorded disappointing results. This is all the more problematic given that the electromagnetic system in question is not only present on the Gerald R. Ford, but will also equip all Ford-class ships, which are modeled on this first aircraft carrier. However, for its first mission in the conflict zone, the aircraft carrier visited Israel in early October 2023, just after the Hamas attack. The USS Gerald R. Ford was accompanied by its carrier battle group. Its mission was essentially deterrence, particularly against Hezbollah. Clearly, the USS Gerald R. Ford is not only an aircraft carrier, but also a symbol of the technological and military power of the United States. At a time of growing international tension, what role will this aircraft carrier play? And what will future Ford-class aircraft carriers look like?